So I use emotions before I enter the trade. How do I use emotions? I think to myself, what would hurt the most amount of people before I enter to this trade? And then I go, have the most amount of people probably been hurt before before I consider jumping into this? Like I was so right here, I was like, man, this might be a good buyback, but I was like, I don't think enough people have been hurt. Right here, I was like, on this green candle right here, I was like, not enough people have been hurt. I don't like that. Then right here, on this liquidation candle right here, after they just flushed VWAP, and every trader that decides to buy VWAP, I was like, enough people have been hurt. Maybe right here might be a good entry. Why? Because we came all the way down here. I was in and I was out. Right here would be a good trade because why? Enough people have been hurt. Why? Because they round trip this entire move. They went from here, they took it up, and then they came down and they took out this liquidity and they bounced it. So right here would actually would have been and you had liquidity. So right here would probably be, I would probably say a B plus trade because you had a sweep of liquidity and you had a 5 and a 15 minute BISI as confirmation. Enough people have been hurt. Enough people haven't been hurt in order for me to really start to enter into a trade right now. It's 11:50. It's 11:50 right now, and they're dumping this. They're dumping the 11:50 macro. This is telling me this is not good. This is not good. Whenever they're doing stuff like this is not good. This is telling me that they're probably going to let this per. This is not good. I'm going to move this over here a little bit more. This is not good. This is why I say you don't just randomly buy the 11:50 macro. And just because it's bullish 90% of the time, 95% of the time.
That 5% was today. That's crazy.
Nah, well, here's the deal, guys. It also does not have to kick off at exactly 11:50. It normally does, but however, what they what they could very well do is they could very well flush this over the next 5 to 7 minutes,
And
fill
reverse it.
fill this, and then fully reverse it at 12:05 and take this higher, and the macro would still essentially be bullish. Why? Because this is still uh, this is still their third objective that they want to take over. So if SPX didn't have this hanging beneath its head, then NQ would be going higher. Then the market would be going higher. But that candle right there tells me that I need to stay out. That candle right there just telling me that I need to wait for more information. And someone says, well, you said trend lines don't work. Yeah, I don't trade trend lines, but however, it gives me an idea of what not to do. And it also gives me an idea because other people might be doing this. And so the market might try to flush this in order to liquidate those people to drum up more liquidity because people think this random line right here is going to stop this market from going up or down. So whenever you see me drawing lines, it's not that I'm formulating trades off of them. Like I would take a trade like, here, buy this line right here because this right here is it touched this line, so I'm gonna buy this right here. No, I'm doing that because I'm looking at it from a from an objective standpoint. Like, what would happen if they just flush this right here? Would they drum up more liquidity? That's what I think. That's how I think and then the same thing happens with people with support and resistance lines. Like I go, what would happen if they broke this right here? What would happen? They would do what? They, they would then trigger a short squeeze in order to cause the most amount of pain to the most amount of people. Look what happened here. Non-stop, straight line, bullish, continuous squeeze. Take everybody out. That's how I think. So so yes, I understand support and resistance, but I use it because I go, that would hurt the most amount of people if that didn't work out. So let me not do that, and then let me reanalyze where I think that they really want to go to cause the most despair. That's how I analyze that. Negative 188. Mm. You down, noobs? It's not good, man. Not good, man. That's why I said, bro, don't just because it happens 90% of the time doesn't mean that you blindly long it. You got to be careful. You got to you you have to wait for a setup to form in the 1150 macro. Guys, there was no setup here. There was no BISC being formed or created here. The only thing that you have right here to formulate a trade off of using this 1150 macro, the only trade that you could possibly take is a long right now, this second, and then however, if they inverse this, then it's off. You don't just buy up here because it's the 1150 macro. You gotta wait. So that's why so you have to wait for an entry. So you literally have to wait for an entry here. Yeah, so it's all right though. I got out finna wait for confirmation, but I was gonna stick to risk and let it go to 500. But I know there could be a better setup, and it can. Trump just released a new tariff. Let's take a look. Okay, what we talking? That's probably why the market dumped right there. So what we talking? Hold on. What's the list? Oh yeah, I forgot, guys. Today's the Fed minutes as well. We got that releasing at 2 o'clock, so don't expect much until 2 o'clock. I forgot about that. Holy smokes! Well, I didn't forget about that. I sent that out inside the group, but still though, I wasn't even talking about that. Let's see what we got. When did he release it? When was this? I gotta see. 25% tariffs on Philippines. Okay, what did he say? True Social. What is he saying? So Philippines. I don't know who this is. Okay, found it. Trump issued new tariffs: 20% on Philippines, Brunei, however you say it, Moldova, Japan, 25% on Japan, which is the largest one because the Japanese yen is tied to the U.S. dollar. South Korea, gives a damn about that. Malaysia, mm, gives a damn about that. Tunisia, Kazakhstan, who gives a damn about Kazakhstan? Algeria, no. Iraq, who gives a damn? Libya, eh. Bosnia, South Africa, maybe. Indonesia, Bangladesh, Serbia, Thailand, somewhat. A lot of semiconductors over there. Cambodia, Myanmar, and Laos. 40% of Laos. Laos, okay. So the biggest thing I'm seeing is the Philippines and Japan. Hmm. And maybe South Africa. Maybe, but not really. Oh, I'm sorry. Philippines, Japan 1, Philippines 2, Indonesia 3, and Thailand 4. That's what I'm saying. Minimal. Okay. When I get a better setup, I'm looking to do 250 days my profit goal. Um, I'm gonna give you some advice, news, because you've been showing up every day. Stop, stop trying to attach profit goals to your daily goal. What you need to do is you need to find a setup that you're comfortable with, and then you need to take that setup over and over and over again. Don't try and say, hey, I need to make 250, or hey, I need to make 25,000, or hey, I need to make 2,500 a day. You need to attach making ticks to remove the emotional side of it, because what happens if you're at 200 and you're not at 250? Then you're going to be trying to chase $50 to try and get to that profit target. What you need to be doing is you need to be hunting setups. You need to be hunting good setups. If a good setup is there, then I take it. If it's not, then I don't take it. Which means that if I don't find any good setups, then I just don't take any trades today, and I don't make no money today. If you start saying, "Hey, I need to make hey my goal every day is $250," you're setting yourself up for failure. I promise you. You wanna know why? Because I've done that too before. Wanna know why? Because yeah, I've almost blown my account trying to do that, like my live cash account trying to do that. That was years ago. I did that. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. You need to go. What solid setup can I take, and then once you get to the point where you're like, man, I got two or three solid setups today. I made X, Y, and Z off that, huh? Based off my risk management, and wherever you line up at that afterwards, then that's when you're content. Or you can take solid setups, and then you can look, and then you can go, like me, I take solid setups, and I go on average, I go, I'm up 5 or 6 thousand today. I'm up 10,000 today. I'm gonna call it a day, because even if I find something, I don't want to risk it. That's what you can do, but don't say, "Hey, I need to make 250 today," or "Hey, I need to make 2,500 today. I have to. I have to. I have to." No, that's attaching emotions to this. You don't want to do that, because the moment you start losing, and the further you get away from that goal during the day, the more emotional you're going to get, because you're going to go, man, my goal is further away from me. No, take a solid setup. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And take another solid setup. If it works, it works. And then you look up, and then you see, okay, where am I at? Yep. Trust me. That's how it goes. Guys, with this, the money's going to come. The market doesn't care if you make 250 bucks. You want to know why? Because the only thing that matters is where it's going to go, and you have to align yourself with it, and you have to know what it's doing. So if you have $1 billion inside your account and you're up 50 million in 30 seconds, the market's not going to care. If you have if you have $100 in your account and you're only up 50 cents, the market's going to move the exact same way. So don't attach money to it. It does not care. Poor list. He had the market hijacked for nothing. 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 That's what this was. This right here is called manual intervention. Manual intervention here. Huh. And they flip.
There he is.
Who?
Statue.
Oh, Dashi, what's up, buddy?
What's up, man? I've been at work, man. I'm still here, but I'm hopping in now.
Yes, sir. Good to see you. Good to see you, man. Good to hear from you. Good to hear from you. Great to hear from you, man. Congrats on yesterday, by the way. Congrats on your largest day yesterday.
Appreciate it, man. I still can't believe it, man. That's just so crazy.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
guys.
crazy.
Yeah, guys. So Dashi just had his largest day yesterday. He made about 2,700 bucks on one account yesterday. I'm assuming one account. So he just had his largest day yesterday. He was in the TikTok, and now he is so he already has some strategies, but however, he's learning what we're showing, and then he's combining it, which is the discretionary part, with what he's already known. And so he's even more so improving on what he's already known and his trading strategies to take even higher probable setups. So he just had his largest day yesterday. So that's why we're saying congrats to him. So congrats to him, man. That's huge. He's a member of the community, and it's already paying off, obviously already for him. So again, hats off to him. Good job. So we're gonna try and continue to build on it. So that's where we're at now. 11:50 macro. What we got? Time distortion. Let me look at these 15-minute candles. Try and get a feel for something. Hmm. They could very well save this down here until 2 o'clock, because that's when the data releases. They could very well do that, or they could flush this down in here. What do I think that they want to do? So I have to think to myself. You have to think out loud. What do I think that they want to do? Okay, so NQ is going this way. What's ES doing? ES is doing the same thing, so they are correlated now. They're moving in tandem. Okay, so one isn't lying. Understand that. Checkbox on that. We're in a 1 5 minute SIBI here. It's okay. I'll find a good setup before I go to work and get back up there. Yeah, yeah, noobs. It's all right, buddy. It's all right. No problem. I promise, man. You're gonna be good. You're gonna be good, buddy. What we got? Just waiting for quick, solid setups to form. What we got? They're in time distortion, trying to figure out what they're gonna do. So we're gonna wait. Best thing to do now is to wait. So Dashi, this is what we got. This is what we got. You can adjust your chart if you want to, but on the QQQ we have several volume imbalances up here. If they don't attack these within the next 90 minutes or so, I'm going to assume that they're going to attack it a little bit by using the 250 macro or using the 150 macro right before the news to try and fill these imbalances up here that they created on this full blown Judas swing lower here where they
Okay,
flushed it.
sounds good. I'm gonna put that on my chart now.
But however, just for reference, this is why I don't expect volume imbalances to hold up, and why I trade them with discretion. Every volume imbalance does not have to be filled immediately. So, like for example, like if someone long this right here thinking, hey, they're going to come up here and fill this, then they got stopped out, or they're in a loss because the market was fully bearish. So that's why you have to exercise discretion and go, these candles are really, really, really aggressive. I don't want to jump in front of a moving train. So so that adds further to the lesson that I was referencing. Also, Dashi, one thing to note is what we have below your head is SPX has this gap to fill that it created today. It did not fill the gap from earlier today. So right now we are trapped between two major daily imbalances. I think it's more
Oh shit. Okay,
so
I see that.
so I think it's more than likely that they come down here and try and fill this than it is for them to take it all the way back up here to fill this today. I think that this is more likely. But
Yeah, I
however,
think it is higher probability that they fill the bottom gap first.
exactly.
But
But however, what they're doing is, what they're doing is they 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 took out this liquidity that we already had over here, and then they bounced it off that alone. Rejected this 1 minute SIBI up here, and now they're dumping it. So we have two 15-minute BISIs below. That's why the market is dancing in between here. So the market right now is trying to decide: do I go higher because of these two 15-minute BISIs here, or the 15-minute BISI and the sweep of liquidity, or do I go lower because SPX wants to fill this imbalance, which is its third objective. So that's why the market's in time distortion right now and is trying to decide. And the 1150 macro really had no significance because of this huge move that they did here. They did it up here, and this is why I tell people stop buying all-time highs or stop chasing vertical moves. Because when you chase vertical moves, this will happen. You'll get dumped on your head top and you'll lose your account. Sensei, a macro is a time signature for the algorithm to inject liquidity into the market. You have to be a part of the group for you to understand it. You'll see what I'm talking about. If you join the Discord, it's basically free. It's either you learn how to make 500 to $1,000 a day and it will change your life, or I will make it free for you. So I'm not going to explain to you what a macro is, other than saying it is a full-blown time signature. The market behaves in time codes. It is operated to go off of time and time alone. That's how this that's how this entire algorithm works, guys. Just stop and just think. That's what I told people yesterday. If your TikTok feed and your Instagram feed is controlled off of a computer, your social media feed, what makes you think that they would that that they would leave, and that's not a person. What makes you think that they would leave the hands of a $50 trillion asset in the hands of of a few people, controlled by random people buying and selling? No, it is controlled by an algorithm. And so using that notion, logically, you have to go down the logic ladder. If it's controlled by an algorithm and it's a computer, it has to be what? It has to be written off of a code. So the code is written and programmed to do something off of something during specific times. And once you understand that, that is your that now is the pin to access the you know the ATM card. That's that. So that's what that is. This is written off of a code. The code is not supporting resistance in random lines. If that's the case, then the market wouldn't have did this. It wouldn't going up in a straight line and did this. It is a code. And once you know what the code is, once you understand that there's a code, then you know that, hey, you know what? There is a real ATM machine. And then once you understand how to read the code, then you will just because you know that there's a code does not mean you have access to the card. Because I can give you my debit card, but if you don't know what the pin is, then you're not gonna get no money off of it. The knowledge is the pin. The card is ICT. The knowledge and how to apply it is the pin. Gotcha. Where do I join? It's up here at the top of the screen. You have to put this into your internet browser. It's $10. I'm not joking. It's $10. I keep the riffraff out by charging $10, or the pumpers and the scammers. Like the guy that joined earlier, and he was like, your win rate is 50 or 60%, and I was like, no, it's not. What are you talking about? He had never joined this live before, and then that was when I had to show everyone. I didn't have to, but when I was free, I showed everyone again. But everyone that's been a member here, they'll call me out if I make a like if I boast or if I say something that's false. Because you want to know why? Because I want to be open to criticism. If I say something that's inaccurate, I want someone to say, "Hey, man, you know what? I don't think that's the case." You want to know why? Because that's a sign of a highly intelligent person, and that's a sign of a person that cares more about making money than they are about being right or wrong. And I want to improve myself. I don't want to be stuck in the same place. I want someone that knows what they're talking about to say, "Hey, you know what? I don't think that's accurate. This is how it's accurate." Or, "Hey, you know what? That's not true. This is the truth." And what I'm telling you is the truth. So I'm telling you, support and resistance and how you've been trading, or what you think about trading is not real. I'll run it as credit. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You very well could. You very well could. And so the downside of that is so the people that trade support and resistance and the people that trade moon cycles and all of these weird things, right? They're running it off credit. But what's going on in the background though? The debt is piling up, and then also the Federal Bureau of Investigations is investigating them, and they're watching their every move. And so yeah, you might be able to run up 10, 15, 20,000, or let's just say a year's worth of salary or so off of that, right? You might be able to do that, right? But guess what? When this happens, when the feds come knocking, when they come knocking on your door and they hit you with a RICO, when they take everything, and then not only do they take everything, they put you in jail for 10 or 15 years. You know what the equivalent of that is? Blowing your account. Why? Because They made you think you were ahead and they ran it up on you. They made you think that you were winning, and then they were, but however, they were just building a case against you. You know what's building a case against you? Trading support and resistance. And then, hey, this worked before. Hey, it worked here. Let me short this. Hey, it worked here. Let me short this. This right here is the feds. Just don't take my fun here. Yeah, this right here is the police knocking on your door and coming to come take everything that you thought that you had. That's that. Hey, you know what? Buying the top. Bull. Oh, whoa. Perfect example. Right here. Look. Hey, bull flag. Book says bull flag. Let me long this. Whoa, what the hell happened here? Why does bull flag not work out for me, man? What the hell? Come here. That's that right there. I used to be one of those people too. I used to long this and go, hey, bull flag right here. We're gonna long and we're gonna go higher. No. This right here, why this right here, if you trade patterns, throw it out of your mind. So like if you don't believe nothing that I'm saying, I'm going to prove to you why everything that I'm telling you is the truth. Because I'm the most skeptical person until I saw it in real life. But however, I had to learn first. So yeah, people that run this credit trading, all of these weird strategies and stuff like that, it'll work out for them eventually, but then it'll come back to bite them in the ass. It will. Perfect example: bull flag breakdown. That didn't work. Hmm. That didn't work. Now, what we got? What we got? What we got? So analyzing the market. What we got? We're in nothing. We're in time distortion. Guys, they did nothing during this 1150 macro because we're in time distortion. They're keeping it sideways here. Why are they keeping it sideways? Because they just they took the market up 1%, swept liquidity, and then they dumped it 1%, and now they're just you know yeah. So yeah, they completed a multitude of objectives. So yeah, keep trading those strategies if you want to. They're gonna come by and they're gonna take everything from you, and it's gonna be when you least expect it. What we got? What we got? What we got? What we got? So 1250 macro is over. 1208 lunch sweep. 1208 lunch sweep is no longer a factor. Why? Because they touched this BISI right here. They used 1208 lunch sweep right here to tap this BISI at 1208. 1208 lunch sweep is no longer a factor either. So you can so 1208 lunch sweep cannot be traded. 1208 lunch sweep cannot be traded every single day. You you have to know what makes the 1208 lunch sweep a thing. They just tapped this untapped. They just tapped this. No, there was no untapped BISI because it had already been tapped here. So there was no BISI being created here. So the lunch sweep was never even a thought or a possibility. For example, if it was 1208 and it was here, 1210, then yeah, I'd be looking at short because I knew it was going to come down here and do this. But that's not the case. They had already tapped it. And they didn't create any more BISIs in between then. And then right after 1208, they still came down here and tapped it again for good measure. Time signatures. Check ES. What we got on ES? Time distortion. ES is in full blown time distortion. They're just distorting time. They're doing their number one job, which is to engineer liquidity for the people that are in options now. So the closer it gets and it just dances around in here, the more that they get hit with theta decay. So that's all that is. ES is doing absolutely nothing right now. Good point. I'm not going to say big D trade. I'm just going to say D trades. I'm not going to say your first name. All right.
Hey, are you gonna be looking out for that 1235 root candle?
Um, I don't really trade the 1235 root candle. I really don't. It's there, but however, that's not one of the things that I have programmed my mind to. So at the same time, though, I don't want to, I don't want to throw too much confusion in there. As far as that's concerned. But if you and I want to talk about the 1235 root candle off stream, you know what I'm saying, we can do that. But I really only want to try and stick to one thing, which is because I don't want people to say, "Hey, man, I read that page. Hey, I read those 3 pages of information, but man, these strategies are hard." No, I want to show people something simple that I know for a fact that anyone can do if they put in a little bit of effort. That's what I want to show people. Now, the root candles and stuff like that, we can get into, that a little bit later. Um, if that makes sense. But I just want to show people FEGs and simple liquidity. That's really what I'm going to be explaining on stream. And then in the meantime, super, super, super high probable setups. Like the 12 weight lunch sweep, when it appears, 95% of the time it hits. 1150 macro is bullish 90 to 95% of the time. That is just not a debate. The root candles, it can be, up for debate a little bit, and then, and like I don't want to, people are gonna be like, hey, what's a root candle? What's this? What's that? You know, I want to stick to something that's super, 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 super simple, that's almost foolproof, that you can trade in almost any given environment. You understand what I'm saying, Dashi? I hope I wasn't being rude.
Yeah, no, no, yeah, that makes sense.
You know what I'm saying?
I get it.
But yeah,
Yeah.
bro, we can get into, bro. Shoot, bro, you and I can get into the root candles all we want. You know what I'm saying? Maybe like a little private thing. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, we could chop it up. But a lot of, bro, believe it or not, bro, there's people that are listening right now. No offense to them, bro, but there were people on stream that were saying, "Hey, what happens if I press the buy button?" Or, "Hey, what happens if I press this sell button?" There was a guy in here.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, bro, I promise, bro, you're gonna laugh at this when I say this, bro. But there was a guy in here to where I had to tell him. I said, "Stay away," because he just put his hard earned money inside of an account, and he was like, hey, like, how do I sell when I buy? I'm getting ready to take my first trade. I told him, I said, bro, paper trade. And then Diego had to be like, no, bro.
Is this the one that asks what is a short or what is a long?
Earlier,
Yeah.
yes, guys. And so this,
I seen there was a girl that got into the live by accident. Like she wasn't even. She was like, I don't know what this is, but I'm here.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So guys, this proves my point that I was making earlier. Remember the point that for everyone that was listening yesterday. Remember when I said, when someone said, hey, what makes you so sure that they won't change the code of the algorithm? And remember when I said there's going to be new people enter into this market every single day, and they don't know what's going on, and they're going to be willing to drum up and to strum up more liquidity for this algorithm to then generate hundreds of billions of dollars in commission up here every time they take out a level, and every time that they put you into the negatives, they're going to strum up liquidity. There's going to be, every single time one person leaves, there's 5 brand new people entering into this market that don't know what the hell is going on. So why would they ever change how this program is written? So that right there proves my point in regards to what I was saying, if you had any skepticism. Because there was someone that was getting ready to generate liquidity for this algorithm right here, and they had no idea that when they pressed this button, they had no idea how to even get out, how to press sell to close the position. And that's no knock on them, because I told them, I said paper trade first. And when I said paper trade, no offense, but he said, what is paper trading? And I had to log into my live account and show him the difference between real money and fake money, and how you can do that to save his account. Just looking for a group that isn't disrespectful. Yeah, bro, this is it right here. We are never going to make fun of anybody. No hate speech, no none of that. Yeah, I'm here too much. I should be someone in the Discord. I just know a lot of fundamentals already. Yeah, bro. So this is never going to be a group to where we make fun of anybody. However, I'm going to be honest. I am going to say things in a joking manner. so that it makes you think. So you go, huh, he's joking, but he's joking about the police coming in and taking all of my money, but I get the point he's making because sometimes humor is the best teacher, but that doesn't mean that you can't say it in a very lighthearted way so people can get it and understand it. Because if I've noticed that if you just yell at people sometimes, a lot of times it's not how you say it, a lot of times it's not about what you say. Sometimes it's about how you say it. Sometimes, but that's not me. I would rather someone curse at me and yell at me and say, "Hey, X, Y, and Z." That's just how I am personally. But not everyone's like that. Because I would rather someone tell me the truth than for them to sugarcoat it. That's just how I am personally. But I understand not everyone's like that. So my mom's not like that. My dad, my dad's a military veteran, so my dad likes to give it to you straight with with no chaser. That's how I am, and so he'll tell you your shit stinks. That's how I am. But my mom is not like that. Like like if you yell at her and if you say, "Shut up, you're an idiot. This is how you do it. What you've been thinking is not true. You're a freaking moron, you idiot." She's gonna shut her brain off. She's gonna snap it off. And she's gonna shut her brain off, and she's not gonna listen to anything you're saying. So some people are like that. So you have to joke and you have to say, "Hey, you know what? If you put your limit order here, what's going to happen to you? The market's going to come and it's going to take your money. The police are going to come knock on your door, and then someone's going to go, oh, that's a funny reference. Oh, okay, I see what he's saying." Versus me yelling at you. So a lot of times it's about the delivery. Hey, Paulo, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. So yeah, buddy, a lot of times it's about the delivery and how the message is received. So time distortion, nothing. The market wants to figure out what it's going to do, so we're going to do nothing. Next
Bro,
up,
this has probably been the longest city I've ever like been a part of.
yep.
I'm
So,
not even trading, but
yep. Yeah, so the market right now is bouncing between this 1 minute Sibi and this 5 minute Sibi. If you don't know what that is, then I'm sorry for you. You need to learn the information. Some people might say, hey, this is a bear flag. Let's short this here. Bear flag. Market teaches me lower. No, that's not what's going on here. This is a Sibi, a 1 and 5 minute Sibi, and the market is trying to decide whether or not it wants to balance that or not. Short this bear flag lower now. Target here. No. The market does not give a damn about patterns. It does not. Does not.
bro, I'm about to get out of here. I'm about to go get a haircut.
All
It's
right.
been rough.
All right, Diego.
So yes, sir.
I'm gonna get my hair done in a little bit too, man. So shoot, man. I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. I'm with you.
You gotta look good, feel good, trade good, I guess. You
Heck,
know.
heck yeah, brother. Trading is 90% psychology. You gotta look good and you gotta feel good. You know?
All right, bro.
All
Catch
right.
your Discord, TikTok. Good work today.
Good job, guys. Great job. If you're profitable, if you're not, we're gonna hunt the next setup. We're gonna get them. Guys, I don't care if this shows up. This is part of the humor. I don't care if this shows up on your chart. See this guy? He's Jesus pattern. You see this? This is a Bible in his hand. This is a cross in his hand. Now, don't get upset with me because I'm not Pablo Picasso. But if this shows up on your chart and you see this guy and whatever pattern you think is going to happen, whether or not he tells you to go up or down, you don't trade that. So you get that? So he's not going to save you when your account goes to zero because you don't know what's going on. All right? You don't want to do that. So I don't care what you're looking at here. I don't care. Don't do it. You'll lose your money and your account. It'll be blown. All right? Yeah. Yeah. Don't do that. Patterns don't mean anything. My point exactly. Look at this bear flag right here. They just inverse that bear flag. Doing that third job, which is filling imbalances. Patterns don't mean anything in the market. This code isn't respecting it. It doesn't care about patterns. You might get lucky, and then after the fact, you'll go, oh, whoa, that looks like a pattern. I got lucky off that. I got lucky a few times too. But guess what's going to happen? Police going to come knocking on your door, take everything. Rico, take everything from you. VIX about to dip under 16. Yep. Great observation, Bedhead. Volatility is fully subdued. That's why we're getting this. And then also, hold on, where are we at? I didn't even write this on my chart. How dare I? What is wrong with me? How dare I not write this on my chart? I mean, on my in my trading journal. What is wrong with me? Thank you for making points. Q's HVL for today. 549. Zero DTE. 553. SPY HVL. The audacity. Yeah. Jesus patterns. Head and shoulder patterns. Inverse head and shoulder patterns. Bull flags. Bear flags. Hmm. I used to listen to those people. I used to be one of them. But I had to give hundreds of thousands of dollars to the market maker before I understood. But so then I put myself on pause and I sought out the knowledge first. And it was hard for me because I had to train and I had to understand that what I was seeing was no longer the truth. I have all the wrong information. It's okay. If you have all the wrong information, it's okay, buddy. It's okay, sensei. If you have all the wrong information, it's okay. I promise you it's okay. If you have all the wrong information, actually the biggest thing is this. You're actually in a good spot. I like that. You want to know why? Because at least you know it's wrong. There's a lot of people that still will refuse to admit that what we're doing right now is how the program is is how the market is operating off of, and they just want to keep giving their money away. So it's okay. Um, Now, since you know you have the wrong information, you have to go, okay. So what's the right information? And don't take our word for it. Show up for free. I don't want your $10. I don't want it at first. I don't want it. I don't want your $10 and the $29 for the Discord. I don't want it. Stay here and watch for free. But however, if what I've said starts to pique your interest, then sign up. And then if you don't learn anything in 30 days, I will refund you your money. You know why? Because I don't want it. So learn the information and learn the right information. It is actually good, and I'm going to repeat this. It is good to know you have the wrong information. You want to know why? Because now you know what not to do. In trading, knowing what not to do is more important than knowing what to do. Because it doesn't matter if you it doesn't matter if you know how to make 100,000 in a day, even. But if you lose 150,000 in a day because you don't know what not to do, or you're doing the wrong thing, you're trading Jesus patterns or support and resistance, and you think it's supposed to stop at a magical line, then you're going to get screwed and you're going to lose 150 the next day. So it doesn't matter. SPX HVL. So that's good. You have 50% of the battle won. You know what not to do. Good. Now remember what not to do and then add what to do. That's what I had to do. So everything that I was in your position about 3 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago. Because I got to, well, I lied about longer than that, about 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. I knew everything that I thought I knew and now I know what not to do. SPX, HVL, we got 6170. Even on our trading options, I'm writing this down. 0 DTE, 6210. How dare I not write this down? What's wrong with me? normal. HVLs. Both of them are 617. Next time window, 1250. Time distortion until then. Possible window of opportunity for them to do something. They're guys, whenever they're grinding it up higher like this, even though they're going up higher, let me take that back. Even though they're going up higher, you don't want to take a trade off this. Why? Because you get a huge FU candle to the upside. This is just consolidation time distortion. You need imbalances to be created for you to formulate an opinion off of something before you enter into a trade. You need imbalances to be created. I'm gonna repeat that again. You need imbalances to be created for you to formulate a trade idea off of. If no, just stop and just think. If there's no imbalances being traded, that means that they're just doing this. There's nothing here. You need imbalances to be formed. You need people being caught off sides. You need liquidity being swept for you to then formulate a possible trade idea or an understanding of what's going on. That's what you need. Because imbalances being created, it allows you to then gauge a point of interest for where you could possibly get out. Like if you were long here, you would have known that you would have to put your stop at least minimum to break even on this trade right here, minimum right here to break even, and then you would be out at the retest of this 5-minute BISI here. And so at minimum, you would get stop break even once they came down here and dumped it, meaning that you would protect your account. So the imbalances give you an entry and an exit plan. If there's no imbalances being created, then there's no entry plan. And consequently, there's no exit plan. And if you don't have a plan, why would you put your money onto the line? You know what that's like? I'm gonna give you an example, another humor example. That's like, imagine you, um, you know, asking someone for a ride and they're drunk. Not just drunk, but drunk off their butt. Fully drunk off their butt. And then you don't know this person because you don't know this market. You don't know this person. You don't know this algorithm. You've never met him. You did not write the programming for what this market is doing, so you don't know this person. And then you say, hey, I need to go home. And this person has never been to your house before, but they're drunk. They're drunk because it's in time distortion. So they don't know where they're going to go, and you don't know where they're going to go. Would you hop into the car with that person and not watch them? And would you put your kids or your grandparents or even your life in their hands? And then not only that, get inside the car and then with a drunk person behind the wheel of the car at night, would you close your eyes and go to sleep? No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't even get inside the car. Let alone put my money inside of it and hope it goes up or hope it goes down in my favor. That's closing your eyes and praying to God that a drunk person you've never met before, a homeless drunk person, is going to be able to drive and direct your car that you don't even know, and you didn't give them directions because you don't know where they're going to go, so you didn't give them directions. You'll just say, hey, I need to go home, and they don't even know where home is. So why would I wouldn't even get inside the car. I would look at you and I would say, F you, I'm going to wait for a ride, that I feel safe with. I'm going to wait for my Uber. You know what my Uber is? Waiting for a market imbalance to form so I can take a solid trade idea. I'm not going to do that. Why? Because my life is too valuable. And in this case, my money and my account size and my mental clarity is too valuable for me to do anything differently. I'm not going to do it. So where are we at now? Time distortion still. 10 minutes for them to possibly do something. They have not taken this out yet. Here. Here. Next objective. Here. Just that simple. We wait. 95% of your time as a trader is going to be spent waiting. If you can't wait, then you don't deserve to be trading. Then you'll be food for the algorithm itself. For the patient, for the people that are going to be patient and then wait for a solid trade setup. And yes, there's plenty of setups that I could have taken, so a few setups that I could have taken so far, but I'm not going to show that. I'm not going to put that product out there on screen. That's in the Discord community. Like if you want to trade the models that we're doing, I show people how the trade setup how I could have taken a trade setup yesterday and made 90 or 100,000. But that's not what I'm going to do because that's not the product that I'm putting forward. And then obviously I have to trade differently because of my Apex account. So I can't trail stops like how I would normally want to do because I get penalized if a trade goes against me, even though I might be stopped in profit. So so I'm not going to do that. So it's just quick scalps here. But we have models that if you want to make, if you doing what we're doing, if you want to make 150, $200,000 in one day, yes, in one day, you can do that using the models. But obviously, in order to do that, you have to have the trade copiers going, which means you have to make 7 to 10,000 per account times 20, which is about 200,000. You could do that, but to do that, you would have to trade one of the models, and something like that only happens. Something like that only happens like every other day. Or you know what? It might not happen every day, or you might get stopped at break even. So you got to be careful. Like for example, one of the models that you could have took here, an example of this was shorting once the macro over here was over with. So once the macro was over with here, once the macro here was over with, and once you saw this bearish continuation here, or I'm sorry, once the macro was over with, and once you saw this market structure shift right here, once they broke this, and then they came up here and tested on this candle, you could have shorted right here, and it took all of this down. So we had what's called a market structure shift. I'm not going to explain that, but this is one of the models right here. We broke structure right here. We broke this. This is so most people are going to look at this and say bull flag, continue higher. No, I look at it as the exact opposite. This right here is a market structure shift right here. The market switched cold once we broke that. It was no longer bullish. I saw that in real time. It was no longer bullish. And then, you could have rolled that down here and then trailed your stop and then been out right down here. This is what ICT would have done. ICT would have been out down here. But that trade would have took from 950 all the way down until 1110 in order for him to hit that. So he would have been in that trade for about an hour and 20 minutes. I'm not going to show that. You can learn how to do that inside the group, but that's not what we're going to do. We're not going to show that. We're going to show something simple that everyone can do. And then if you want to add more complexities to it, you can do that later in your own spare time. So we got here for liquidity in here. We're waiting now until 1 o'clock. Until 5 more minutes. That's what we're waiting on. VIX about to do, okay, yeah, I already saw that message. Okay, cool. Want to double check. Yeah, VIX is going lower. Wow, VIX is at the lowest it's been in a while. Wow. Look at that. Look at that. You got to go back to February when VIX was this low. Wow. Interesting. Took this out. Guys, we have the Fed meeting minutes in an hour. Don't expect much. Not the actual FOMC meeting, but the meeting minutes, which is the summarization and how they came to the conclusions releasing in an hour. That's what has the market hijacked. That's why it's behaving like this. Hmm. Rise and shine. Rise and shine. Make sure that you join the community today and let me know if you have any questions. So just take the time and read the information on the pages And shoot me a message inside Discord and let me know if you have any questions. But welcome aboard. It's good to have you. I wanted to tell you that it's really good to have you. Um, and you know, and I really appreciate your support. I really do. I appreciate every single person's support. Every single person's support. I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody that shares the live streams. I appreciate everybody that likes it. I appreciate everybody. Because again, I'm doing this in order to help people out. That's it. So you can take the same trades that I take as well, and I show everything in live, real time, win, lose, or draw. We're in here, Lord willing, every day. So one of the Marissa says in the Maritza says, "Can you explain VIX?" So I will explain anything to anybody inside the Discord community. Can you explain VIX? Is she still in here? So I just saw your message. I'm sorry. I had to check. So let me disable this. That's why I didn't get the notification. It was in streamers mode. So VIX, yes. VIX is called the volatility index. This is very important. This is why my win rate last month in the month of May, even though I still made 30,000 in May for my withdrawals, that's why my win rate dropped from 90 to 95% down to about 75, 78%, because I had a few losing days there. Because even though I understood VIX, I didn't understood how it correlated to how the market behaved. I still understood HVLs and the HVL level and how the market makers hedge whenever sell orders come in, they're met by more sell orders and negative HVL. When buy orders come in, they're met by buy orders. And positive HVL, which is where we are now, buy orders are met with sell orders. Sell orders are met with buy orders. That's why on average, every now you might get something different like this, but on average, that's why you're going to see green candles met with red candles, green, red, huge green, more green, and then green candle with a red candle. Why? Because orders are being hedged. That is 100% fact. I'm only going to speak facts. You, everyone should else do the research on your own. VIX VIX corresponds with it because when VIX is low, volatility is low. It's suppressed. What does that mean? That means that when volatility is low, unless they're trying to complete an immediate objective, this is going to be rare. This right here is rare. That's why this was manual intervention because of the Trump thing. The algorithm turned off. But however, volatility is going to be suppressed. That means that in order for them to get to their objective, you're typically going to see this. It's going to be grind lowers, And then when they decide to reverse it, they're not going to reverse it and do this, Mauricio. They're not going to come up, give you a retest, and then come up. It's going to look like this. It's going to look like this. They're going to do stuff like this. They're going to, when volatility is suppressed, they'll pump it up in a straight line, which is the mistake that I made earlier. Take out liquidity, and then they'll keep it right here in the same spot without moving. And then they'll go higher. And then guess what? They'll keep it right here in the same spot again. And then go higher again. And then they'll slowly start to trickle it off like this because volatility is low. Day traders need volatility in order to enter into positions safely and then to hit targets. You can't trade this if this right here is zero volatility. How can you structure a trade setup off of this? When the market shoots up and then it goes like this. How can you structure a trade setup off that? You can't. You cannot. There's no trade setup off of that. You need something like this, like the trade that I took. You need a flush, come down, flush, confirmation, come up, and then a re-entry like right here for a ride up higher, which is what we did right there. You need volatility to be increased. You can't solidly structure a trade setup idea off this if there's no volatility. If VIX was above 20, this BISI would have formed, and then they would have came down here immediately to retest it to give you an entry to then target a higher spot. But because VIX is low, they're just creating BISIs like this, and they're just doing this. And then it'll be a random 1 minute dump candle like this. This is a perfect example. And then they'll immediately shoot it back up like this. So, meaning that if you said, hey, you know what, I'm going to short this candle right here because I think they're going to take this lows out, then they bounced it up and then they just kept going up higher like this and they stopped you out. So they're giving you 1, 2, maybe 3 minutes at the most on red candles to even consider an entry position or to get out. That's what happens, long story short, when VIX is low. When VIX is low, also you get moves like this. See this? Perfect example. Look at this. It'll just look like this. Can't do that. Market grabbing liquidity right now. Yes, it's engineering. Yes, it's engineering liquidity. Yes, you are correct, noobs. Good job. Apollo says, I see. Yep. So that's because the market is doing this because VIX is low. If VIX was higher, again, you would see this and it'd do this. That's what I want. Guys, I can't do anything with this. Why? Excuse me. Sorry about that. Why? Because right here at the top, they could just do this. And then I'd be out. I'd be stopped out and I'd be upset. Don't believe me? Ask anyone here that tried to short it here on this candle right here. Ask anyone that tried to short it right here. Look what happened to them on this candle. They just kept it sideways and then bursted into new highs. VIX is low. You don't believe me? Ask anyone that said, hey, I need a pullback here. I need to pull back up. I'm sorry, my mouse. I need to pull back up into here so I can short in here and get a good short entry so I don't chase this at the low. Look what happened because VIX is low. They went like this. They dumped it, one green candle, and then they did this. Hard to trade. Very, very hard to trade. VIX is above 20. Again, they would have went like this. Boom, boom. I short here, target here. Boom, done. In and out. Great trade. Do I trade Tesla? Yep, Tesla was the last swing trade that I took. I bought Tesla at 220. and I sold at 300. I went damn near full portfolio in my I was 100% allocated in Tesla in my Charles Schwab account. So in the community, we have a in the community we have a stock channel, like a stock channel in the Discord that will show that to where whenever I take a trade off of my Charles Schwab, and those are swing trades now. Those aren't day trades. Those are swing trades. That means I'm willing to hold for at least 3 to 6 months until I get at least 30 to 40%. I will send that alert out inside the stock channel. So there's people in here that don't even want to day trade. They just want that alert. But they haven't gotten that because that's only going to come every few months or so. They haven't gotten that recently because we're at all-time highs. I'm not going to buy something at all time. I'm not going to buy or swing trade stocks at all-time highs. And and on top of that, I'm not shorting at all in that. So that's strictly long only. That's a long only channel because I'm not going to hold something when the market is designed to only go up. I mean, I'm not going to short something when the market is designed to only go up. Most people don't realize that. This market is only designed to go up. If stocks don't go up in the S&P 500 or if they don't go up in the Nasdaq 100, they get removed and replaced with ones that do. So why would I swing trade a short in there, logically speaking, for something that it is inherently designed to only go up over time? I would never do that. And I would not recommend anybody else to do something that I would not do with my own money or that I haven't done with my own money and I've learned the lesson. See, I can tell you what not to do because I've done it and I know it doesn't work. That's how I can tell you to do it. I mean, that's how I can tell you not to do it because I've done it and I know it's not profitable. And I know it doesn't work and I can prove it doesn't work time and time again, day in and day out. Every single day, this market will show you why support and resistance does not work almost every day. It will show you every day. But you know what it can't hide? It can't hide its programming. It can't hide that. It can't hide the fact that we came up into here and we touched this 1 minute SIBI right here. I mean, this 5 minute SIBI right here, and we're rejecting it. It can't hide that. It can't hide its code and its programming. Everybody and their mama, everybody and their mother can see straight lines, bro. So why would you think that the market's gonna? Why would you think that the market is gonna operate off of a straight line if everybody and their mother can see this straight line here? Why would you think that? You know what I'm saying? Just stop and just think about that. If everybody, if all it took to be a millionaire was, hey, this straight line right here, I'm gonna sell when it gets here. Wouldn't you think everybody would do that? It's clear as day. Just stop and just think about that. Nvidia just hit a $4 trillion market cap. Yeah, exactly. Nvidia is the most. Nvidia is the number one stock on the planet. I remember telling people that it was going to be bigger than Apple, and people were like, "Yo, what the hell are you talking about? You know what the hell you're talking about? Get out of here." No, AI is everything now. Yeah, if everybody can see a straight line, why would the market operate off of a straight line? Everybody can't see. This is not in plain sight. You have to actually understand what the code is in order for you to get the pin to the ATM machine. I am going to give you the pin and I'm going to give you the card for you to use. You just have to be willing to read a few pages of information and be willing to spend two Chipotle burritos a month. That's it. You'll be able to do what we do. Would it be bad to scalp a short on this? 1 o'clock. Before a major news release? Unsure. I probably wouldn't do it. Lower probability the closer we get to 2 o'clock. We have the Fed minutes meeting releasing in at 2 o'clock. That's a major news driver. Tell them about your book collection. We would have to access it. About your book collection, we would have access to in Discord. Rise and Shine says, "Yep." So, guys, in the Discord community, Even like let's just say you don't even care about trade. Let's just say like, hey, I only like to read books, but you can do what we're doing. You don't, guys. Reading books is old school. The information for the algorithm is not inside of a book. Everything you see right now is generated off of AI. Why would they put it inside of a book for you to read? So it's modern. We don't have that. Watch a YouTube video, it'll teach you that. You can rewind it over and over again. You don't have to read a 30 or 40-year-old book, but if you want to, we have that inside there. Yeah, no problem with the news. So we have that inside here. We have that here inside the book catalog here. We have a book catalog that houses over 800 trading books. I'm gonna, because you know, yeah. We have a book catalog in here that, and then we have Eval Instant Pass that will show you how to instantly pass any evaluation you want to. That has 1 day to pass. That is, it has to be 1 day to pass. 1 day to pass. 1 day to pass. Can't be multiple days, like 2 or 3 days. And they got those scam firms. They got 2 or 3 days. They weed out that method. But with Apex, it works perfectly. With Tradeify, perfectly. I don't know if Bullinox is like that. Perfect. Yep. And we got all of these models in there. We got Gap Fill Thursday. Bullinox does let you pass 1 day. Cool. Yeah, you can use it with Bullinox then. I promise. You can use it with any firm. You can pass the eval instantly with any firm. Whichever firm you think you can get the evals for the cheapest, that's 1 day to pass, and it has just a simple take profit rule, you can do it with. We have that inside the community. But I'm not going to tell you to do that if you don't know how to trade. That's why you have to pay the $10 for the knowledge to learn how to trade first. Because it doesn't matter if you don't know how to trade, you're just going to blow the accounts, man. People don't understand that. You spend the time to read the pages and learn, and then learn the information. You'd be surprised who draws the line and wanted to make $5,000 to $10,000 a day, even though they're unemployed. They'll draw the line at reading, and there's a reason why they're there. No offense, I'm not trying to be rude. If that applies to you, you can still change. Now should be a time for you to change from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset. It can change for you. What she says? Oh, she's not even in here anymore, so I'm not going to answer that question. Wait, no, she is. She says, "What are your thoughts on trading Asia session? What are your thoughts on trading the Asia session?" I don't want to trade the Asian session because the Asian session will look like this. To answer your question, it'll look like this. And I say to myself, if I can't get what I need to get, now if I was forced to trade the Asian session, then I would have to study and back test the price action. But I say to myself, if I can't make $5,000 to $10,000 a day using these simple methods that show up every single day, because the market can't hide its programming. If that's the case, then I don't need to be trading a, then you know what, today's just not my day. I just don't need to be trading. You can get, guys, you can get everything that you need to if you're like, if you study any one of these models during the New York session, because there's so many different time hacks that we have in here. We got the terminology, we got the time hacks, we got the 209 to close, 250, 345, 350, 130, 1230. We got a 1235 root candle. We got the 1208 lunch sweep. I know people that yeah, I only asked because we were talking about volatility. Oh yeah. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I know, but so this isn't a rant on you. This is me explaining to everybody else. Guys, I got people that only trade during their lunch hour shift. So they can only trade this model right here. And so for when it shows up, they take, when it doesn't, they're just at work. And then, I showed you guys yesterday how off of one contract, off of the one contract yesterday, using one of these models, you could have made $2,600 off of one contract. I showed you that both ways yesterday. I showed you that. That's one contract. You only need like $1,300 out of a live cash account to do that. That's more than the average American. That's more than doctors make in a day. That's $2,600 that you would have made in 30 minutes using that model alone. Let me remove this. Turtle Soups, Gap Filled Thursdays. Thank God it's Fridays. By the way, guys, if you think about screenshotting this and then saying, hey, I'm going to trade these models, hey, he's showing us over here on the screen, so I'm going to just screenshot this, and you don't want to pay the $10 for the knowledge, I, I implore you to do that. Do that, you're going to blow your account because you don't know what you're looking at. And you're not going to have the knowledge to even put it to action. So so people can screenshot this all they want to, so you can steal my debit card to the unlimited cash machine. But if you don't have the pin, then it's not going to do anything for you. Sensei says, "Where do I find the Discord link?" The Discord link is right up here at the top, bro. And it's not the Discord link. This is the knowledge page. It's $10. $10. The Discord link is $29 for you to have access to everything, but I only want people to join the Discord after you join and pay the $10 and you've read the first 3 pages. You don't have to do everything on the first 3 pages, but read the pages first and then pay to join the Discord. It's $29 after you pay $10. So total's like 2, maybe at the most 3 Chipotle burritos a month. It's right here, nas.io/NQN. You have to put that into your internet browser. And every single day I send out a pre-market plan. For example, the one today, I sent this last night at 8:30. Trade plan, none. The Asian session did nothing all day in the Asian session. Why? Because I knew that they were holding this over our head. I knew that this was over our head top. Once I saw this last night, I knew for a fact that the algorithm was going to do nothing all day. You give alerts, what's the win rate? I don't give alerts. This is not an alert service. Yes and no. This is a service that will show you how to trade personally. I will show you how to make a minimum of $500 to $1,000 a day off of one account. If you have multiple, minimum $5,000 to $10,000 a day doing this. And I call out my trades in real time before I take them. And yes, you can take the same trades I'm taking, but if you don't know why I'm taking it, it's not going to do anything good for you. Brian, if anyone tells you to join an alert service, run away and block them. They're trying to take your money because you won't be able to. For example, if someone told you to buy this bull flag right here on an alert service and the market did this, I'm sorry. Hold on. Hold on. And the market, if an alert service said, hey, buy this bull flag right here, and the market, which bull flags don't exist because this happens, patterns aren't real, but you'll learn that as you become a member of the community. And the market does this on your head top right here, non-stop in a straight line downwards. How do you know when to get out? That's why alert services are scams. But if you pay for the knowledge and join the community, you will then learn and you will understand why we're doing what we're doing. And then you can then take the same trades that I'm taking. Because guys, anyone that's in here that were listening to me, they saw me take this trade live where I made $2,600 in 20 seconds off this one scalp. It was quick, only one contract because we just made new all-time highs, so I don't want to go my normal size of 2 to 3, maybe 4. But I called this out the whole way down, and I said, I'm going to take this. And I took it, and some members took it with me. We were in and we were out. So that's an alert service. But if you don't understand what we're doing, then it's not going to do you any good, Brian, to answer your question. The Discord link, the community link is at the top of the screen. I can't show the Discord link or pull up the internet browser or the community link. One, because TikTok will ban it, and then two, I had someone think they were slick and copy the community link, the Discord link, and pay the $29 for the Discord without paying the $10 for the knowledge first. And so I had to refund them their money. I will refund you your entire membership and tell you to try again if you think you're going to join here and not read 3 pages of information first. We don't want you. That's a scarcity mindset. So yes. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. And the last part, the last question. My win rate is about 90 to 95%, Brian. I had a guy come in here and say, hey, your win rate is 50, 60% or 40, 50%. He didn't even know me. Everyone that's in here where I'm live and everyone can hear you, I showed people earlier a screenshot of my win rate of my win rate, not only over the last week, over the last several months. Over the last quarter, I did that. And my live and my cash account. So right now we're trading my Apex accounts, my Apex funded accounts, but I still have a live cash account, but I only trade that when I'm waiting on a withdrawal to hit. So that's where we're at right now. To answer your question, my win rate is about 90%. Higher end, 95. I win about 95% of my trades. So that's where we're at. But that doesn't mean I don't lose. 2 days ago, I had my first losing. 2 days ago, I had my first losing day for the first time in a month, and I knew it wasn't a good day because I lost 2 trades in a row. That never happens. But I came back and we bounced back. We're doing better today, of course. So where are we at? Major news at 2 o'clock. Hijacking the market. You took a short scalp up off that little low resistance sweep almost. Yeah, you could have. The 5 minute SIBI right here we're rejecting. Wow. Yeah. So yeah, we're rejecting a 5 minute SIBI right now. We are rejecting a 5 minute SIBI right now. That's what's going on. Hold on. So yeah, Brian, right now we're just waiting, buddy. We are just waiting. We are waiting patiently. We are waiting patiently for a solid trade setup to form. We are not going to do anything outlandish, and we're not going to force the market to do something out of character. That was TikTok saying I was inactive. False. Yeah, guys, look, this is my. Oh, yeah, guys, here. For anyone looking, this is my win rate, about my average win rate. This is it. So obviously, I copy trade these accounts. This is it right here. 90 to 95%. What we got? Oh, why did it exit out like that? I didn't mean to do that. Anyway, I want to focus more so on these trades. Okay. All right. Projecting this 5 minute SIBI. What we got? Projecting this 5 minute SIBI here. Yep, that's where I got out the start of the SIBI. Yeah, good job. Good job, noobs. Good job. Noobs, I like the fact, man, you've been showing up every day, man. You've been showing up every day. You've been learning. You're improving your knowledge. You're getting better every day. Good job. Great job. Guys, the people that are going to succeed in this market are going to be the people that show up every single day or in their free time. Because I got a guy that went from not knowing what a candlestick was to being fully profitable in it took him 2.5 weeks. But he showed up not every day, but every night. At night, he was studying and watching the videos and following their step-by-step instructions in the Discord, in the community. And he formulated a pattern, a trading style, or an edge against the markets. The edge is your advantage against the markets based off of what he learned, and he applied it. It took him 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, but he was up every night when he got home from work and got everything settled from probably 8:30 at night, 8:30 at night until 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and then he had to be up for work at 6 o'clock in the morning to go to the gym so he could be to work at 9. So he was doing that. And then on his off days, Tuesdays and Wednesdays, his name's Diego. On his off days, Tuesdays and Wednesdays, he's in here in the Discord asking questions, studying, and taking solid trade setups. Took him 2.5 weeks, 2.5 weeks from knowing nothing. Where'd the follower go? Good job. Guys, I'm not gonna ask guys, I don't ever ask for handouts. I will never do that. But what I will ask is if people are asking me questions, and if you're in a community, if you're watching for free on TikTok, can you please at least share the live? Can you like it and share the live? I would definitely appreciate that. If you're gonna watch for free, I implore you to watch for free. That's why I'm doing this. It's a free service. That's fine. But if you have not shared it yet, can you please just share the live? Because it helps me reach other people and it helps other people out. So guys, trust me, listen. If someone else gets onto this and if they show and if someone else knows how to trade like how we're doing, don't worry, I promise. The algorithm is not going to change. They're not going to take money out of your pocket. I promise you. So if your friend knows how to make $1 million now and you know how to make 1 million and you know how to make 5 to 10K a day, it is not going to stop you from making money. So you can help other people. This is probably the only profession that I know about to where you can show someone how to do the same thing you're doing and it's not going to affect how much money you make at all. That's why I love this. Share to all the people that ask me about trading to for me to show them. Yeah. I appreciate that, XO Michelle. I appreciate you for showing a lot. Yeah, yeah, Jay. Thanks so much. I appreciate that, buddy. I appreciate that. Also, like and engaging will push the live. Yep, like and engaging will push it. Yep. You see, guys, look, when you guys shared that live, we went up to 38, we went up to like 40 viewers instantly. So, because once other people see what I'm talking about and they see how easy it is to make two, three, $4,000 in 30 or 40 seconds, it's not going to change. It is not going to affect you at all. This is the only job in the world that you can do and you could genuinely help people and it will not take anything from you. Anything else it will. If I open a cookie shop down the street and then you say, hey, what's your recipe? How do you run this business? And I'm making, let's just say, $10,000 a week doing this, and you open one up right down the street from me, my customers are going to be cut in half. This is not this. I promise you. I promise to God it's not. So this will change your lives. My homie Rise and Shine shared the live with me today. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Rise and Shine is amazing. She's been in here every single day. She is now a part of the community. She has been in here every single day studying and taking notes, and she will absolutely change her life doing this because she shows up every single day. What do you use? We're trading NQ futures. So yeah, now she has been absolutely amazing. She's been helping people, and so I tell people all the time, like I said, this market is going to do what the market wants to do regardless. So you showing other people and helping out other people can only make you feel good. It's not going to take any money out of your pocket. Because if you know how to trade and if you know what we're looking at and understand how to read this, and if you pay the $10 for the knowledge to join the community, and then $29 for the Discord to have access to live trading and everything that we have to offer, you will learn this. And then if you don't learn it, I will refund you your membership costs. I will make it fully free for you. I promise to God I will. I got no issues with doing that. But you got to at least read the information page first. There's 3 pages of information. Got to do that. That is non-negotiable. Got to read that. Because I don't want you paying for the information and then you log on and you say, hey, what's a FVG? Or hey, what's an NQ contract? Or hey, what's a red candle? And I go, did you read page 1 of from the link up here when you signed up? Did you sign up and did you read page 1? Yeah, I signed up, but I didn't read page 1. Well, it says read page 1, do not deviate. But you didn't do that. I'm going to refer you back to that. And then I'm not going to answer your question. What do you use to educate your entries and exits? We're using NinjaTrader, which is a brokerage. That's what I'm using. And we're trading the market. So market orders and sell orders. I think it's fun that he's trying to make higher highs. Might not do it, but looks like it is trying to. Yeah, man. But yeah, bro, this is time. He said I was wrong. Yeah, man, bro. This is full blown time distortion. This is why you don't trade time distortion. This is the you hop inside the car with a stranger that you don't know, and he's drunk, and he doesn't know where you live, and you don't know him, but you just hop inside the car instead of calling you an Uber, or you jump inside your car, even better, and you taking your cell phone, but you saying, "Hey, take me home." He's drunk in here. This is drunk. He doesn't know where he's going. Why would you put your money on the line or your life on the line with somebody that's driving a car drunk and you don't even know that person? You've never even met him the day in your life because you don't know the person you don't know that person. You don't know the algorithm that's controlling this price. And so in the analogy, you don't know that person. Why would you do that? This chop zone. Yep, this is full blown chop zone. Chop is referred to as time distortion. And nowadays they're engineering liquidity, which is they're doing the number one job by by killing all of the people that are in options. That's what they're doing. They're engineering liquidity, which is their first job, to engineer liquidity and to take liquidity out, which is to create commissions. That's the program's only job. Well, that's the program's main job. And they're doing that for the people in options. Why? Because anyone that entered into an option from 11:30 all the way until for the last 2 hours, they're now underwater. Really from here. So from 10:30 until now, to 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, they're now down. Whether or not they were up or not, they're down because we're in the same spot. So the market has just done this since 10:30, nonstop. It's done this since 10:30. People are in options. They have to abide by what's called theta decay, time decay. So the closer we get to the end of the day, the more that they're going to lose. So even if you enter into the position, you could still be down 30 or 40% if the market didn't even move. Chop City. Yep, that's what's going on. Anyway, hold on. Yep. Anyone has any questions though, let me know. Yep, that's what's going on. We're in Chop City zone. Why? Because there's a major news release being held over your head top. So the next opportunity now for the market to do something is going to be in 17 minutes at the 150 macro, which coincides to be 10 minutes before the data release. We will see what happens at the time zone of 150 and 2 o'clock. That's it. I promise you it's just that simple. Trading is it's not easy, it is simple. Easy is there's a line right here. Let me short this line right here because the market's supposed to stop on a magic dot line. No, it's not that. No, it's not that simple. I mean, no, it's not that easy because everyone can see a straight line. Can you understand the code that it's written off of? That's the key. So once you understand it, it becomes simple. You're not scared to enter into positions. When I saw this right here, and I made 2,500, almost $3,000 in 15 seconds, I was not scared. I bought right here on this red candle, right here, perfect entry. Out here on the next, right, I was out here on the same candle. That's a 1 minute candle. I was out in 15 seconds, done. And I was one contract. I didn't even get the chance to add. They filled me out so fast. So the VIX being low and the news coming out can cause massive moves up or down. I'm not going to go. No offense, Sensei. I like you, even though you were referred by Rise and Shine. I'm not going to go into crazy depth about that unless you were inside the Discord. So and the only reason why I explained VIX earlier was because someone in the Discord community asked that question. If you're in the Discord, then I will answer that question. But no, that the answer that's a short answer, no. But if you want a more in-depth question, bro, just pay for the knowledge. If you don't think that you can do what we're doing, I promise you, man, I'll refund you, bro. Yeah, bro. I promise, bro. Dude, I promise to God, man, I will refund you, bro. I promise. Because, bro, I'm not going to argue with somebody over $35, man. 35, $39. I'm not, bro. Dude, I'm not, bro. I promise to God, man, I'm not. I promise to God, I'm not. Guys, I make like 30,000 a month doing this. I'm not going to argue with you over 25, over $35. And like, I'm not bragging. Like, I'm just saying it just like from like a logical perspective. Like, would you argue? Just tell me this thing. Would you argue with somebody over $5 if every single day you was making $1,000 a day? Would you argue with somebody for $5? Would you risk your mental sanity over $5? No, you wouldn't give a damn. You'd be like, you'd be like, hey, if you don't believe me, then that's fine, bro. Here, take it. All right, you got it. Take it. Go. Hold on real quick, guys. I'm gonna go get some water. Hell no, yeah. Making it, yeah. Hell no, you're not gonna argue with somebody. Where's your Discord link? The link is right up here at the top of the screen. You put that in at your. You have to put it into your internet browser. The knowledge is $10. The knowledge is $10 first. It's $10 for the knowledge page. I can't pull it up anymore because TikTok will ban it because it's the internet. It's the Internet Explorer. They think I'm trying to scam people, which I'm not. I'll never do that. I would never do that. But and then I also have the actual Discord alternative link to access the Discord page, which is $29, linked into the $10 page. So I had someone again that said, "Nah, I'm not gonna pay $10 for knowledge. Let me join a Discord and let me get access to everything he has to offer. The one-on-one lessons, the free trading, the live trading, same trades he's taking, all of the models, everything. And but I don't want to read 3 pages of information first to understand what's going on. I had to refund that guy his money. And I told him, hey, bro, no offense, try again. So that that's why this is important. You have to put that into your internet browser. And then I had someone message me and say, "Hey, I don't have access to the. Hey, I can't get that. I'm trying to put it in. I don't get it. You have to put this into your internet browser. Your internet browser. Hold on real quick. Make any trades, Moist? Moist says, "Yep, Moist. Win, lose, or draw, you will always see my profit go right here. If everything says zero, then that means I took no trades. What you see right here is just a quick scalp that I took over here. So that's how much I made. That's about $2,600, 2600 bucks off of a quick 15, 20-second scalp that we took that we called out live. So if you were in here live, you could have took this trade with me as I was calling it out. And guys, I'm not doing anything egregious. I'm not like making $5,000 to $6,000 per account times 20. I'm not making, 150, $120,000, 120, 200,000 because I'm not going to put that product out. I want people. I want to show something to where people go, yo, that is so unbelievably simple. I can do that. And hey, what? And you know what? Hey, I don't have to learn any crazy, you know, patterns or market structure shifts or any structures or anything like that. This is just simple reading the code and I can do this. And you know what? If you have a singular account, you can change your life. 500 to $1,000 a day, you can change your life off that. You make 150,000, $250,000 a year off of one account alone. If you have multiple, then we're talking 1.2 to $2.5 million a year. Life changed. Hold on real quick. I'm gonna go get some water. Hold on. I've been running my mouth a little bit too much. Guys, we're waiting for nothing's gonna happen for probably for the next 20 minutes, guys. So and get it out your brain. The news release happens at 30 minutes. Nothing's gonna happen until then. It's too close to the time zone and nothing's gonna happen. We just gotta sit here and wait. You got 20 minutes to the next macro. 150 macro. 150 macro starts. And Yeah, that's the next possible thing that's going to go 150 macro, and the news release comes out at 2 o'clock. We will analyze it then. Hold on, I'm gonna go get some water. I'm gonna be back in in 20 or 30 seconds. If anyone has any questions, especially in the Discord community or in TikTok, ask them now. But however, I will not explain to you what an FEG is in TikTok because I will tell you pay $10 for the knowledge and you can read it and it will teach you step by step instructional patterns yourself. All right. I'll be back in like, hold on real quick. I'm gonna take this call. Hold on. I'm gonna be back in 30 seconds. Can you close the door for me too? Okay, guys, listen, I'm back. Like how I said, we are in just full blown time distortion. The market is doing absolutely nothing. So, so no trades. Full blown time distortion. So the market is going to wait for this signature news release to do anything more than likely. We have about 11 minutes before they can do something. Right now, we're just hanging it out here. If in the meantime you want to join the community, it's up here. It's right here. The link is right here. You have to put that into your internet browser. But however, just because you join today, that does not mean that when you join the Discord and if you read the pages and you follow the steps, you join today and then in 30 minutes you start asking me what FAGs are. No, I'm going to tell you to read the pages. It is numbered perfectly for you. And the information is clear and concise. And then take a day to familiarize yourself with the page. And then once you join the Discord, then you can start to really start to begin to ask questions because at least you tried. So it's here. Time distortion. Nothing. Now I'm going to spend the next 3 or 4 minutes to explain their next possible objectives. This is what's going to happen within the next between 150 and about it's either going to be between 150 and 210 or it's going to be or they might do something they might wait until about 230, but at a minimum between 150 and 210 or at the latest they're going to kick it off at 250. They are going to target multiple areas of liquidity. Why are they going to start that? Because then they would have rinsed everybody that's in options by doing this, by going side to side. They would have rinsed them. So even if you were right, you lost because your contract value is decreasing in value. So a person's gonna say, man, before I lose 40% of my position, or before I lose 100% of my position because the market hasn't done nothing, man, I'm gonna close out and I'm gonna just close this trade. I'm gonna lick my wounds and I'm gonna walk away. That's what this is for. And then they're going to start to rinse and start to attack liquidity at either 150 or at the latest at 250. Where are they going to go? They're going to go here, here, or here. Why there? Because they have this here. Let's move this over. This here. Or they could attack it higher to create a higher low up here. To just bounce it up and then to just keep everybody in limbo until the end of the day. And that'll be everybody's gift. That'll be the that'll be the gift that the market decides to give you. And what I mean by gift, I don't mean positive. I mean like your FU gift and the arse. That'll be that'll be everybody's gift down here that decided to short this at the bottom and long it up here at the top. They'll just keep it here all day. That'll be what you get. So until they decide to do either, we do nothing. What are they doing right now for analyzation? This is why I have this on my charts for everyone that's watching. Look, this is why I have this here. They are bouncing the market right now between this 15-minute SIBI, which is an FEG, and then they tapped this 15-minute BISI down here, which is another 15-minute FEG. So right now the market is stuck between this third of a percent range from top to bottom. That is it. That is where we are stuck at, and that is where the market is trying to resolve itself. So while we're in here, there's nothing to be set up. So that's what's creating the chop zone. And we have news releasing in 16 minutes. That's what's creating the chop zone. This is also, guys, why my rules specifically state that I will never, I don't care what it looks like, I will never long, as in buy into a 15-minute SIBI, and I will never short into a 15-minute BISI because the market can and will go in the opposite direction against me. Why? Because if you short it down into here and you're not paying attention, the market will do this, just like how it did. If you long it into a 15-minute SIBI, the market is prone to do this, what you just did. No, Nelson, I'm not speaking. I was not speaking. I was just sitting here. I wasn't talking. I'm sitting here because we're in time distortion. But thank you so much for checking. I got no issues with that. Guys, we're sitting here in time distortion. I figured we were going to be entering into time distortion for the last 20 or 30 minutes here, or really since about here. So we're in time distortion here. We are waiting. We are doing a professional trader's number one job, which is to wait. You'll be waiting 95% of the time. Guys, if you don't believe me, look at this trade that I took here in front of everyone. I called this up here. I said, no, we're not going to chase this. The average trader is going to look at this and say, oh, bull flag. Let me long this right here. Well, no, they got their ass handed to them. Why? Bull flag breakdown. Bull flags don't exist. They're only targeting liquidity. They wanted to get you off sides, to get everyone to buy all time highs, and now they're going to dump it on your head. That's why. But however, we avoid that in Discord because we're risk management professionals. We don't get flabbergasted by straight vertical moves up like this. There were people in the community earlier that when we first logged on, they were like, "Man, I missed that." No, you did not. Oh yeah, so yeah. You know what? I might play some music in the background for real. I might do that. I might do that. I'm going to add that to the so that I don't have to talk as much. I'm going to add that to the next stream tomorrow. That is that is a great idea. How much am I up today? 120 times 20. That's about $2,600. What we did right here was we took this scalp right here And I called it out down in here. We took this here and we were out in 15 or 20 seconds. I waited all day to take a 20-second trade. And then I've been waiting ever since. I haven't done anything else. That is your job. You are literally going to be waiting 98% of the time. If you want to make larger profits, which I'm not going to show the models, we have that inside here, and take larger price targets and scale and do those things, you can do that, which I know how to do. But however, that's not the product that I'm going to put out. I'm putting out something very simple. If you want to do that, and if you want to make 150, $200,000 a day doing that, then you are going to, then you are going to have to be willing to hold a trade for an hour or 2 hours, and then get stopped out of break evens, and then setups might not appear every day. This is something that appears every day. You can make $1 million a year doing this for something that appears every day, and you don't even have to know any schemes. How did you manage to pass to get 20 funded accounts? How much does Apex cost you? I have that inside the community right here. So Nelson, look, hold on. Answer your question, Nelson. Right here. How did you manage to do that? Right here. Just answer your question. See this? This right here was the daily information. I said tomorrow's FOMC, it is known for being a historically choppy day. So we knew this going in until the minute summarization is released at 2 p.m. The market, if it decides to move at all, will be reacting to 15-minute time blocks during the day releases, blah, 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 blah. I'll back test it and employ you to do the same. Because Trump had this over our heads. So because he had this over our head top, this news release, that was this manual intervention move that you saw, we avoided that. But to answer your question, right here, eval instant pass. You'll never see me trading evaluation because I know how to pass them instantly, like this. I would never do it when I know how to pass it like that. And then I posted it the you know the step by step last night because some of our members had some questions. So I posted an instructional video that would show them how to pass. And now this isn't just 20; it will show you how to pass an unlimited amount of accounts. You can pass 100 accounts, but you can only activate 20. You can have 80 sitting in the background. I had like 20. I had like 40 sitting in the background, but I only had like 20 activated. So, but a few times a month, I use this strategy right here to pass the evals instantly. So that's in the community. So you're gonna have to pay for access to the community to have that. I'm not going to show that on TikTok. So we pass them instantly over here. But however, I'm not going to tell people to do that if you don't know how to trade. That's why you have to pay for the knowledge first. Otherwise, I would tell you, yeah, because I don't care about trying to get 35 bucks for you. I'm not going to do that. But what it is if I show people how to do this and if I tell people they are going to pass the accounts and then they're going to blow their funded accounts because they don't know how to trade. They don't know what they're looking at. And then they're going to get upset and then I'm going to get bad referrals. And then people are going to say, man, that dude showed me how to do it, man. But I still lost all my money. It was a scam. No, it wasn't a scam. You just didn't know you just didn't know how to trade. It doesn't matter if you have a live cash account or if you have a funded account, you're going to blow all your money if you don't know what you're doing. All right, I've been watching for a couple days. I joined the community. Yes, that's the link. It's at the top of the screen. You have to put that into your internet browser. We would love to have you. So yes. But however, please take my advice. If you are joining right now, and this is to everyone listening, if you are going to join and pay for this, just to try and pass the accounts, you will get as many accounts as you want to. But if you don't take the time to understand, I'm not saying this is you, but if you don't take the time to learn and to understand it, it does not matter how much money you can make in a day. I can show you you will learn how to possibly make $150,000. And I know it sounds weird, but yes, it is in here and you will learn that. But if you lose 150,000 the next day, it does not matter. You have to learn how to trade first. So you have to study first. You can't put the caboose before the horse. I'm trying to find your Discord, can't find it with your name. Yes, exactly. The Discord is private. You have to put this into your internet browser. This page is $10 to access for the knowledge of the information to then get the Discord. The Discord is $29. So if you sign up and if you don't think you can make $500 to $1,000 a day, Faye, I will refund you your $35 or $39 for everything that it costs. But however, I know for a fact that you'll be able to do it. So I'm sorry, yeah. So the link is up here at the top of the screen right here. That's where the link is. So this is the eval instant pass. But just because you do that does not mean that you'll start turning $10,000 a day. It does not work like that. It will not work like that. You have to take the time, study, and show up. It it's simple, but it's not easy. The 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 only hard part is saying, hey, huh, I'm gonna watch these YouTube videos that he put together. I don't understand that, so I'm gonna reread this page again. Hmm, this is my sixth time reading this page over until I understood this point. That's kind of hard. I'm gonna do that again. That is it. Thanks for sharing the live, Hold on real quick. If anyone has any questions, let me know. Oh yeah, Nelson. To answer your question, you have ears, but you've convinced me to switch to Apex. Yes, you can switch over to Apex, but you have to learn the rules. So if someone is getting consistent payouts from Apex, they are a professional trader because they are a professional risk management taker. I will show you how to navigate the rules, and you have to understand the rules. So like how you trade with Top Step is not how you can trade with Apex, because with Top Step you can trail stop. So they're not going to penalize you if you're up $5,000 on a trade and then it goes against you 2,500 bucks. Apex will penalize you $2,500. So that's why I'm scalping Apex. On my live account, I would do it a little bit differently. Or if I was on Top Step, I would do it a little bit differently because I can trail stops. So hopefully that answers your question. Hold on real quick. I'm gonna get some water. Hold on. But if you have any questions, anybody let me know. I'm right here. Hold on. I'm right here. So so to answer your questions, does it look like we're going up or down? No one knows. Why does no one know? We know why no one knows. Because there's a major news release being released at 2 o'clock. This is why if you join the community, it will give you this thing is foolproof because it will give you everything you. I am not hiding this. It will give you everything you need to understand what not to do and what to understand what to do. So it will give you the news app that will show you what news information is releasing and when, and it will give you all my settings and all the apps. It will do that. And it will show you what we're talking about. You just have to follow and read the information. Guys, I will show a guy how to make 5 to 10K a day instantly, like seriously. And he drew the line at reading 3 pages of information. Those are the people that we like to weed out. So you have to pay for the knowledge and actually want to read first in order to get what we're doing. Shorts, no. Guys, at 150, what did I say? 150, you had this green pump candle right here, and then they started the macro. The news releases in 3.5 minutes. We're going to see. So we're going to wait until then. There's no shorts and no trade setups. Why would you enter right before a 3-star red folder news event comes out and no one knows what the algorithm is going to do. You just don't like your money. If you don't like your money, then please find a local shelter, a homeless veteran shelter, and give your money to them. To the people that served our country, please do that. All this aside. Rakia says, "How much?" I will answer this question. How much capital do you trade with to make that much? Listen, you it does not cost nowhere near. The beauty about being in 2025 is it does not cost nowhere near what you think in order to, in order to trade to make that much. Probably using daddy's money. Huh, yeah, you're right. Guess what? False. Listen, that's not the case. I'm trading with what's called prop firms. That means that I pay a specific amount of capital in order to gain access to these accounts. So these are 20, 50K accounts that I'm trading with. Guys, it's not like how it was 20 or 30 years ago to where you have to have 500 or $1 million in capital in order to do what we're doing. No. I have someone that's a part of this Discord. He's in it for less than $200. Now he's making $800 to $1,000 a day. He was just in here earlier talking. Just admit it, bro. Huh. Yeah, no. Actually, no. I promise. That's not the case at all. Everything that I got, I earned myself. My parents don't give me anything. My parents aren't rich at all. If you don't believe me, look me up. You can look me up. My name is Eric Hamilton. You can look me up. I was a professional athlete. I came from nothing. I used to be homeless. I'm not joking. I used to be homeless. Me and my father, we used to be homeless. You can look up my story. I'm a public. The guys like, look. I'm a public figure. You can look. You can look me up. I'm not joking. Look me up. You can find me on Instagram too. I used to be homeless. My parents didn't have nothing. My mother was on Section 8 housing. My mother was on Section 8 housing, living in Section 8. Next week, I'm going to my brother. Next week, I'm going to my brother's guilty plea hearing because he was murdered on the projects right before I moved my mom out of the projects. I'm not joking. This is real life. I'm doing that next week. So I don't come from money. But however, you can do the same thing. I'm homeless now, trying to come out, dog. Nothing wrong with that, bro. Guess what? Guess what? You can do that. So listen, listen, look, Sensei, do me a favor. Uh, you can message me, bro. I like that. You can message me and message me, DM me on TikTok, and I'll shoot you a 30-day free trial to the community. I'll do that. I'll help you out so that you can at least learn the knowledge for free. I'll do that. Because again, guys, look, I'm not trying to make no money. Guys, look, I don't care about the guys. I don't care about the 35 or 40 bucks. I want to help people out. So if you're really in that position, listen to me. Seriously, DM me and I'll shoot you a code that you can use, bro. Because I only want to help people out. I'm serious. I know it might sound weird, but yeah, do we send you the money to join? Nope. You put this into your browser and then you pay right here. It's $10. You got to pay for that. So you have to pay for access to the knowledge. But for Sensei, he's homeless. Or if he says he is, you know what? I like to take people on their word face value. You know, just so he seems like a good dude. So so man, look, DM me and I promise you, we'll gain you know we'll give you access to the community and we will treat you like a normal. Obviously, we treat everybody the same normally. Hold on, real quick. Okay, guys, listen. The FOMC minutes was a nothing burger. Nothing burger. To answer Bubbles' question, uh, this is not the FOMC full blown meeting. This is the FOMC minutes. This is just a summarization of how they came to the conclusion to make the decision. That's it. But however, the market was still hijacked in a barcode mode until then. So this macro ends in 6 minutes, and then if after that, then they have until what I said earlier, the 250 macro, the 250 time signature, to then determine what they want to do. Guys, they're doing their number one job right now, which is engineering liquidity by doing this. Everyone that's in options, they're getting screwed right now because the market's just going side to side to side. So they're down 30 or 40%. Sensei, yeah, listen, I'm not going to repeat your situation out again for anyone that hasn't seen it. So because I was in that situation as well. I promise you I was. And so, and so I have a soft heart. So I have a soft spot in my heart for people that seriously want to improve their lives. But however, some people want to improve their lives, but I'm not saying this is you, but sometimes people just aren't that like sometimes life just dealt them some unfortunate cards, and that's okay. So you can be a part of our community and you can learn so that when the opportunity presents itself, you can do what we're doing and you can take advantage of it. So when the opportunity comes for you to then have the accounts, boom, you can take advantage of it and you can change your life because you have the knowledge. But at least you have the knowledge and they'll never be able to take it from you, bro. That's the most important thing. Hold on. So 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 yeah, sorry, I was on mute and I was getting things set up. So yeah, Ray. Uh so the Discord says she said go Pitt Panthers. B-ball was my first love, but ended up going to Ray says for football on a scholarship. University of Hawaii. Yeah, congrats. Yeah, good job, bro. Big time. Big time. That's big time. Knowledge he says knowledge is the most important part. Yes. Knowledge is absolutely the most important part. So you have to know what to do and you have to know what not to do so that you can navigate. And then you have to be ready to seize the opportunity whenever the opportunity arises. So 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 that's it. Um um so that's it. So what we're doing right now, I don't know if you were if anyone was on, you can always call me out. What did I say? I said that they were going to I had this level right here marked right here because I said that this is where they were going to attack. I said that they were going to use the news release to attack this or the 1150 macro to attack it, but they didn't. And then I said if that's the case, then they're going to use the news release, which the macro just ended 1 minute ago. And so they can still, so the macro is still on right now. Or they could use the last time I said was the 250 macro to then attack this. Because this is a huge volume imbalance right here. This is an imbalance that the market is trying to fill. So no shorts. He ain't lying. I've been here all day. Yeah. Guys, if I say anything that is false or anything that cannot be proven, there are dozens upon dozens of people that are listening to me and they can talk. All they have to do is press T on their keyboard and they can talk and they can be like, hey, that guy's right there is false. Hey, no, he didn't say that. Hey, no, his win rate is at 90%. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Hey, no, I seen it. It's 30%. He's lying. Or, you know, they can call me out. So I'm never going to speak something that's false. One, because I know people really put their real money down here on the line. So I would never lead you astray because I'm trying to take the same trades that I'm showing you. So they're attacking this imbalance right here. So I was not fooled by this. They're going to go higher. This is bullish. That's QQQ. They're attacking that, and and then they're using QQQ to drag NQ higher. That's what's going on. So they're going up higher now to create a lower high. Hold on real quick. I'm gonna drink some water. Hold on. I'm still here. Ask any questions. So, guys, listen. The volume imbalance on the QQQ, this huge volume imbalance where price was not traded at because it was so bearish, just got filled. It took them from 10:30 till now to fill this volume imbalance. So, what can I do now? I delete that from my chart. That's another that's another strategy. You don't have to trade volume imbalances, but 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 this is what I'm saying. Like, there's so many different methods that like I'm analyzing and then I'm putting and I'm piecing together to then give me a 90-95% win rate. But however, all of this is still in here for you to access. Is this the Nasdaq? Yes, it's the NQ. So guys, what I'm doing is this is what I'm doing. Someone could say, well, didn't you say earlier, man, that lines don't matter? And you showed us how lines don't matter, how the market doesn't respect lines. Yeah, it does. It gives you what's called a teaser. It'll make you think those lines are real. So the moment that you start to believe in it a little bit, then that's when it shows you, and then it creates full blown despair to then liquidate you by doing something like this and going up in a straight line and going down through it in a straight line to then liquidate your account. So I'm putting this up here so that I can see and gain a clearer picture so that I know what not to do. Because what knowing not to do is far more important than knowing what to do. Hold on.